blizzard outside.
I know. It went from fall to winter.
There's, but also like the back shed, we've had it open.
Oh no.
Like the door's been open, and every day we
Yeah.
look out the window and we're like, oh, we're gonna close it. We're gonna close it, and the snow just keeps piling and piling and piling.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
So our door's open. But okay, side note,
Yeah.
last night, look how cute these glasses are that I made.
You made them?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so cute. How did you
I
make
don't
it?
I don't know. Meg always thinks of the craftiest stuff.
Of
Look how cute.
course. Oh my God, how many did you make?
Just two. One for
Okay,
me, one
cute.
for David. That's the first thing I have
Aw.
to tell you. The
Okay.
second thing I have to tell you is Theo went a whole night without needing to be fed.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yes,
Monumental. It's a
I know.
moment.
It was a moment. I didn't think that, well, my inner self never thought that he'd be able to do it. And
Right.
then last night I was like, oh my God, he's not starving. And when he woke up this morning, he wasn't ravenous. So I'm like, okay, then why have I been feeding him all night? I
Well,
just,
you
I
need to
didn't
go
know.
through the motions. You need to go through that and it everybody gets there at a different time. But like at
Yeah.
some point it happens. It's not forever, but it feels
I
like it
mean,
will be.
he didn't, probably he didn't need it because he was had to sleep with us last night. But do you know what I mean? Like maybe we'll see what happens when he's in his crib. Like he might wake up and need it. But now that I know mentally that he doesn't need it, I feel better. Like
Right.
mentally, I feel like okay, I'm not starving my child.
Right.
So that was a plus, just
Okay.
for my own mental health. Plus the cute cups. Like come on,
Yeah. So fun.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Um,
What a day. What a day this is.
I know. Well, we didn't sleep last night, so
Yeah.
that's okay though.
Yeah. That's a
It
thing.
is what it is. Yeah, it's
It is
okay.
what it is.
Um, okay, so we have a few things that we need to say. First of all, new mics.
Yes.
Snaps to that. I'm so
So
happy.
exciting. I
They
know.
sound great. They sound
They
really
do.
good.
Mhm. Mhm.
So we hope that, yeah, we hope it's better than the last two videos because those were
Yeah.
rough to listen to.
You know what? We needed to learn.
Yeah, it's okay.
We
We
needed to
figured it out.
learn.
Yeah, we
We
figured
we
it
needed
out.
to go through it,
Yeah,
you know? And then Black Friday. Thank
we
you.
had to. Yeah, we had to. And Merry Christmas to the two of
Yeah.
us.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, we needed to do this.
Yeah.
Um, but what what do we want to talk about today? We could either do my labor
I
because I
think
just really want to
that's
talk about it.
I think that's the one to do. I think we're
Okay.
ready for it.
Yeah, I think I am ready for it. I've always
Yeah.
wanted to talk about it or like talk about my whole situation.
Sure. Guy, this is your journey. I'm here for the ride.
I mean, I don't want to be selfish and take up the whole talk. Like you can talk about
Um,
yours as well.
no, well, that could be a whole other situation. I really like your
Okay.
story.
Okay. Well, let's get into it.
Okay.
It's hefty.
Well, it's a moment.
It
Where do
is
you
a
want to
moment.
start?
I would love to start with the fact that um well, we could go all the way back to being on progesterone.
Sure, start there.
Or yeah, I feel like I need to get this out there because what I'm trying to do is create a program for people about fertility.
Right.
But what I did, I actually don't think was an appropriate way to do it either. Like
Okay.
I'm preaching about preparing your body for pregnancy and making sure that your mind, your body, your nervous system, everything's conducive to having a child.
Right.
But I didn't do that for myself. So like
Well,
I
you
need
did a
to switch.
little,
I
like
did
you
a
did
little
a
bit,
little, like
but there's
don't discredit yourself.
yeah, there was parts that I wish I could change. Like I think um
You wish you could
wanting
change or reflecting on it,
I wish that I
might
just yeah, like I'm wondering because of what I did in the beginning, I'm wondering if that's what created all my pregnancy complications later on.
but you'll never know that.
I
And
will never know that.
that's not
No.
something that you can make the association with. There's
No, it's just it's
too
hard
many
because I feel like
factors.
yeah.
Mhm.
However, I do feel like if I did more nervous system work, I don't know if I would have needed the progesterone to get me pregnant. I don't think I would have. And who knows if the progesterone actually did or if I was healed at that moment and was able to. Do you know what I mean?
Right. It's so hard
But
to know.
anyway, that's the start of all this. But
Right.
yes, I was
Why
I
don't
was
you
on
just start at the beginning?
yes, I had to take progesterone
Right.
um to try to get pregnant, which we
Right.
think worked. But then once I
Well,
became pregnant,
we have a baby.
we have a baby. But then
Right.
once I got pregnant, I needed to switch from my oral progesterone to intra.
Intra. Can we say that?
I think we can say it. I
Okay.
think we could,
Intravaginally.
yeah, I think I
Yeah.
we could like block out the word, but yeah, no,
Eh,
intravaginally I had to start taking the progesterone.
right.
Um, and then everything was fine. It was going great. But then I had that subchorionic hematoma.
What came first, that or the progesterone? Because I don't feel like
The progesterone came first.
you were
I
still on
had to.
progesterone.
I had to be.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
So I was on that, and then I had a subchorionic hematoma, which we thought was a miscarriage because I was bleeding and it was very stressful, and the nausea, and like
The nausea.
to talk about that part, like it's very interesting to be a pregnant woman and to want for 1 minute to be like, take this nausea away, and then the next minute to be like, give it back to me. I don't know if I'm pregnant still. I need the nausea. Do you
Right.
know? Like that's a whole
Mhm.
other thing to talk about because
Yeah.
wow, that really
Yeah.
screws with the mind. Um, but yeah, so then I
Yep.
had the subchorionic hematoma,
Mhm.
and then I had to be put on progesterone. And then I don't know if you remember this, we had strep A where we had a massive rash.
Oh, you did. You were so sick and you
I was
didn't
so
nobody knew what
sick.
was wrong with you.
No, and I was told that I might
Oh,
have
yeah.
cytomegalovirus, which if anybody
Oh,
knows, that can cause detrimental effects on your baby. So
so stressful.
cue in more stress.
Yeah.
Still can't believe that happened. And then after the
Yeah, you had a
virus,
full body rash.
full body rash. It was terrifying, but
Yep.
it was strep A for sure.
Yep.
Um, and then after that, I had to be flown out to Toronto because I was bleeding again, and they didn't really know
Right.
why. And we couldn't deliver the baby if we had to here in our hometown because we don't have that level of a hospital. So I had to go all the way to Toronto.
How many weeks were you at that point?
I was 26.
Right.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yep. And that was stressful. And
Yep.
then I had to change from having a midwife to having a physician, which that's okay. But like in my head, I've always wanted the midwife. So it was very hard for me.
Yep.
And then thank God nothing happened. They told me that everything was fine in Toronto. I came back home. I continued to take
Oh,
progesterone. Yes. What else?
you forgot that they lost your gestational
Oh,
diabetes test.
then they lost my gestational diabetes test.
Yep.
And I refused to do it because I hated the drink.
It was
So
so
then I
bad.
so then my doctor gave me another option that I could just continue to prick my finger for 2 weeks to see if I actually
Yeah.
had it and if my levels were okay, and they were fine, so they didn't think
Right.
that I had gestational diabetes, so there was that. Wow. Um,
Yep.
and
Sorry, I had
then
to remember that
that
moment. That was a
that was a
moment.
good one.
Mhm.
Um, and then what else, Tiana? And then I went into early labor.
What else happened? Oh, no, after that, remember your shower got postponed because
Yep,
you had the rash and then nobody knew what was
yep,
going on. It was terrifying. And then you got flown out and then we were supposed to have your baby shower like right when you were really sick, but then we were like,
yep.
"Okay, like whatever." And then we postponed it and then we had your baby shower and which was so beautiful and fun.
It was so
And
nice, yeah.
yes, and so then after that it was like go time. You like immediately started to nest. Like you had nothing, like you were like, nope, there's no time to waste. Like let's go. And
Yeah,
you like got everything done. Everything was ready for
yeah.
weeks.
I think a part of me was thinking like everything negatively was just happening to me and I was like, what will make me happy? And I think just getting his room ready and like
Yeah.
getting all putting all the things in his drawers, that's what went on in my
Yep.
head. I'm like, this will make me
Yep.
feel better.
Yep.
So yeah,
In the
you're right.
moment though, like my perception of you was like ultimate nest mode. Like
Yeah.
it was like,
Now
"Oh my
looking
god,
back, yes.
is this baby
Yeah,
coming? Like, what's happening?"
yeah.
She's, like, really, really she's on fire, which is
Nesting? Yeah,
great, but, like, it
yeah,
was like, "Okay, like, we are ready to go," like, and
yeah.
I mean, I think your instincts were right because
I had a
then
weird
what
feeling.
happened?
I had a really weird feeling that I was going into labor early, and I did. I started
You
to
did.
bleed really bad, and, like, that
Mhm.
experience was really hard because it was like
It was really hard.
I already knew it was coming because I already experienced the bleeding in the beginning and then in the
Yeah.
middle and then now in the end, and it was just like, oh, I just didn't wanna have to go through that, and I in my head, I always just wanted a normal labor, like, just a normal labor. Well, normal meaning, like,
Is there a normal labor?
no, like, I just didn't want all the interventions that I had, which is fine
Fair.
because that's another topic to talk about, like, all the interventions that could happen, but, yeah, I went into labor, but I didn't think it was labor, I just thought it was another episode of bleeding.
Yeah. Yeah, you weren't
The
quite convinced, I would say. You were very skeptical on whether or not the
Yeah,
baby was going to come. And to be fair, it wasn't like a tidal wave obvious. It
no.
was like you were having a little bit of cramping, but it wasn't like, you know,
Yeah,
shockingly intense. So it was just I think your body just did what it needed to do.
needed
It was
to
very,
do.
very gentle. It's very intuitive. Like your body does what the baby can
It has
handle
to
and what you
do.
can handle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and I ended
Yeah.
up having to I went in, I went they call it, like, a fast track. What do they call it? Fast
Well,
track?
it's labor triage.
They call it labor triage. I went in there
Yeah.
and I remember, the doctor was like, "Well, you could go home, because the bleeding kinda subsided. You can go
Yeah.
home, but if it happens again, I trust you that you'll come back." And I was like, they were gonna keep me, and I'm like, "No, please. I just wanna go home into my own bed. I'm not gonna bleed anymore. Like, this is done. I know it's done." So then at like 3 in the morning,
Yeah.
3:30, 4 in the morning, I woke up, 1 p, and I was like, "David, I'm doing it again. It's happening." So then we had to go all the way back. I was so upset. And then I started to like have shakes. I don't know if I told you this part.
Yeah. No.
I was very shaky. Like in triage, they were like,
Oh,
baby's fine, but we're gonna keep you overnight. And I was so upset. But it was a 4 in the morning anyway. So I don't know why I was so upset. Like it's
right.
morning in 2 hours. But anyway, um,
Oh
I
my
was
god.
laying there, and I remember just, like, as they were trying to put the IV in me, because I was bleeding so much, I just kept bleeding, and I was shaky and unwell, and I think I was nervous, of course, because like, I'm
Fair.
bleeding, and, like, that's not fun.
Yeah.
Um, then I was fine, like, it subsided again. Then I had a whole other day, remember I had a whole day in
Yep.
they put me
Well,
in the
we spent the entire day in the labor room.
labor
Like you were
room
in a labor room.
because they thought that I was gonna go into labor.
Yeah, they thought that you were. Like I think that your cervix was opening, but, like,
Yeah,
it would, like, open a little bit and then it wouldn't change, and because you were technically preterm, they're not gonna do anything to you at that point to make it come on. So,
right.
like, they were basically just waiting
Waiting and seeing.
waiting and watching, and we spent the
Yep.
entire day in the labor room, and
And then they
by
put
the
me back.
time Yeah, because the pattern was you would bleed at 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning. You would have a morning full of cramping or, like, contractions, and then by, like, noon, it would
It would
settle
go
out,
away
and so that happened the Wednesday. What was it? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday? No, it was Thursday,
Thursday,
Friday,
Friday,
and the Friday we spent the day in the labor room,
and then
and then
Saturday
Friday night or Saturday morning, that's when it went.
progressed.
Yeah,
Yeah, at
and then
like 4
that's
in the
when it
morning,
yeah.
I knew it was gonna happen. Well, you knew it was gonna happen. I was
You
like,
did not know what was gonna happen. You
"No,
were
I
like,
didn't."
"There's no way I'm going into labor." And I said, "I'll see you at 4 in the morning when you're in
Yeah,
labor."
yeah.
I said,
And then
"Prepare yourself.
I immediately called you and was like,
It's happening."
It's happening, and you're like,
Yeah, and
"Okay, I'm
then you
coming."
were like 3 to 4 at that point, which is the
Yeah,
most you had ever been,
yeah,
obviously. And then they
yeah.
were like, "Okay, we're calling it."
And
Yeah.
then I bled the entire labor.
Yeah, pretty much. There were some, like, times where it was less than other times, though, I would say. Like, it wasn't like
Yeah,
yeah, it wasn't, like, excessive, like, which is why I was so confused about why everyone was so worried. I mean, I could understand it, but like the picture of it all was on and off bleeding, but then
Yeah.
the baby was so happy. Like,
Thank God.
yeah,
Honestly, that was yeah, he was fine through the whole time, which is so, peaceful for me to know that he was okay, but yeah,
yeah.
I wasn't. I just kept bleeding, but well, I was okay because you guys were okay, like, you were fine. You were showing signs that I was fine, so I felt fine, but
Oh my
wow.
God. Yeah.
And, like, I feel like I feel bad because when people ask me, like, "What's it like?" It's like, honestly, my experience was not the norm, as normal as norm can be. Like, I bled the whole time. It was kinda like I was constantly being questioned, not in a bad way, just like, "Do you want this intervention? Do you want that intervention?" And it was like, "Okay, like, what's best for me in this moment? Like, do I want an epidural? Do I want you to put another finger to see my dilation? Like, do I continuously need
Yeah.
this, or is this necessary?" Which was really hard for me, which is why I think you needed to be there because I didn't know the answer to any of those questions because you were supposed to come over and explain to me my rights as a woman, and then I went into labor.
Yeah, we had plans that weekend. We said, okay, on Sunday,
Yeah,
I'll come over.
crazy, and we were gonna discuss all of the things that I'm allowed to say. Actually, no, I don't want that right now, like, we were gonna
Right.
discuss that,
Yeah. But
and we
even in
didn't,
the
but it
moment, like, it's so hard because you are like, I think you can attest to this because I can attest to it. You're so not in your right
no.
mindset. Like, you are trying to birth a human being, and your body needs very specific circumstances to be able to do that. You need to be
Yeah,
locked in labor, like, to
yeah,
logically and cognitively shift to, "Would you like this or would you like that?" is really hard, like,
yeah.
and it's yeah, even in the moment, regardless of if you had that information or not, like, it's still hard. It's still hard to
Well, like,
know.
and that's why, like,
Mhm.
for the people that have to do it alone, it's like, how do you do that? Because, like,
I know.
for like, David was good, he was great, but he didn't also get that because usually you wanted to do the talk with me and David so that you could tell David what kind of things that I want so that he knows to advocate for me, but we didn't have the time to do that, so David didn't even know what I wanted in those moments. You did because we would talk
Right.
about it throughout my pregnancy, thank God, but, like, in the moments, like, I remember I felt numb, like, I was like I kept looking at
Yeah.
you, like, he would ask me something and I'm like and then you'd say, "Well, what do you want?" And I'd be like,
Well, and then
uh,
also there was plenty of moments where I said like, where I would say to you, "You don't have to decide this right in this moment."
yes,
Like,
which
we
was so
can
important for me because
yeah.
I needed a minute. Just like we talked
Yeah.
about in the last episode, like, I'm not good with
No, who is?
I don't think anybody would be, especially in labor. It's like, "Whoa, everything's happening. I don't know what you even look like, everything's a blur."
Yep.
That's what it feels
Well,
like.
yeah, it is. It is a blur. And so,
Yeah,
yeah, we did that often. Like, he would come
yeah,
in, present you with some options, and like you basically would be like, "I don't know." And then I would just say like, "You can take a minute. Like, could you come back
yeah.
in 10 minutes and we'll chat it out? We can let Alicia and David figure out what the right decision is and then come
Which I feel
back."
like a lot of people need to know that, like, it's okay to say that to your physician, you don't need to know right away,
Depending on the
unless there's an
situation.
yes, unless it's an emergency, I get that for sure, like, from a nursing perspective, from a physician perspective, yes, but in my situation, nothing was pertinent to making that decision right now.
In your particular situation, that's correct. Yeah,
Yeah,
like, we can't say for certain that that is across the board the right thing to do for everyone, but in those circumstances, like, when they were offering you a bunch of different things and you had to make these decisions, there was time to make that and
yeah,
to hold space for those things, but, like, there
yeah,
was, like, your particular situation, as much as it wasn't what you expected or wasn't what you maybe thought it would be, for those particular moments, those were blessings to have because you did have
yeah,
space to
I had
make the
time,
right decisions for yourself, and with
and I
David
think that was Theo. Theo gave me that time, like, he was like,
yeah.
"I'm comfy here.
Yeah, I'm
Okay."
fine. Take your time.
What do you
I'm
need,
good.
Alysha?
Yeah, I'm good.
I
Thanks, mom.
also I also really love to any woman listening about that are pregnant, that are about to go into labor, I loved laboring in the shower.
Yes, you
I
did great.
loved laboring in the shower. I think about that often because, like,
Yep,
I didn't even know that was an option until you told me that you can go in the shower and you can bring those, monitors into the shower. They can be
yep,
wet, and I was like, "Okay,
yep.
let's do it." And then as soon as I got in the shower, I was like, "This is amazing." Like, the
Yeah.
warm water on your back if you're in back labor or even in your front, like, it's just miraculous. And I went how long was I until I chose the epidural?
Well, this is a good part of the story. We transferred into the labor room. I got to your like because you were over on postpartum as an antepartum, so still pregnant, not yet delivered. And
Yeah,
they were like, "Okay, we're gonna transfer you to a labor room." So we transferred to labor room, and you were like this, like, "Ugh," and I was
unwell.
like, "Okay, we need to like calm ourselves down." And you weren't really sure if you were ready for an epidural or not. You were just in pain and just not sure what to do. And then let's also disclaim here, you are not a water girly.
I hate
You
water.
you hate being in a bath. You
I hate
don't
it.
really like enjoy being in the shower for very long, like on a good day. Like you don't like water. So to
No.
convince you to get into the shower was a moment because you were like, do I get an epidural? Do I not? I don't know what to do. And I think you were still 3 to 4. And I was like, well, like this is, when we went through the things of like
Options, yeah.
you're you're almost, by a textbook, you're almost in active labor. Like if you got an epidural now, you'd likely be in bed for a long time, like
Which, oh,
which you weren't really
not
interested
me.
in,
Not for
right? You
me.
were not
No.
really interested in doing that. You were like, I really want to wait it out. So we tried hands and knees for a little bit where you were like leaning forward and kind of letting your belly hang in the gravity to try and like see. I think it was your back, if I'm remembering correctly. You had
Yes.
a lot in your back, but it wasn't
Yes.
working. You couldn't relax. And so finally I was like, let's just go. Let's just try it. And so we sat in the shower and I think we got you in the shower
Wow.
around like 7:30 in the
And
morning, and you didn't leave until almost noon. Like
I
you were
know.
in there for like 4 hours.
Yes,
Like it
and
was
it was amazing, and every time I
yeah,
felt a contraction, all I had to do was put the hot water in the areas that were hurting me, and it almost felt like I was at peace with it because I knew that it would help soothe it for the minute
yeah,
that I had the contraction, and then it
yeah,
was like, "Oh, I could relax again." It was
yeah,
really good, and, like,
yeah,
I'm so happy that you told me that I could go in the shower because I know that they have tubs in certain labor and delivery rooms.
yeah,
I would definitely choose the shower though, because I don't like being submerged in water, but knowing that I could put, like, the water around me was
yeah,
next level amazing. It was amazing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
I would totally recommend if anybody likes water or, like, which or if you
Even if
don't,
you don't,
even
even
if
if
you
you
don't,
don't, if you
try
want
it.
to, it's like I always would it used to explain this anyway in more context than this, but generally there's a spectrum of pain control methods. So
Yeah.
like you can go from like, something as like even as non-invasive as like meditation or like
Yes.
tapping, like
Yes.
all the way to the most intense form of pain control when you think of like medications. So
Right.
like there's a whole bunch of things you can do. And so if you are and like this is a disclaimer for all those out there, if you are hoping to have an epidural at some point or maybe not, but you want to try different things, that's kind of the key to the success of getting through labor is that like
Yeah.
one solution or one method of pain control isn't going to get you through the entire labor. It's going to work until it doesn't work anymore. And that's
Right.
the point. That means that you're progressing. So
Progressing. Right.
if you're, like we tried, you were kind of doing okay in bed, sitting there, but then it wasn't working. So we moved you to hands and knees. That worked for a little bit. And then it was like, okay, this isn't working anymore. Okay, let's move on. Like that's the point. Not one thing
Right.
is supposed to last you the entire thing. You're supposed
Right.
to, you know,
Which
have a
again,
bunch of
I
things.
if I wouldn't have known that, right? Like, that was also really helpful from you, and then when I got the epidural, it was like, I could have a piece of Jello and just relax for a minute. That was
Yeah.
next level as
But you were
well. Like,
like, you went from 3, 4, I forget how many centimeters you were when you got your epidural. Like you made really good
6, I
progress.
think 6.
Yeah, like, so you were actually in active labor at that point, which is the goal.
helpful.
Like, yeah,
Yeah,
all the guidelines will say that's the right time to get it. So, and that's what you wanted. It wasn't like, I don't want an epidural at all. It was, I want to get it at the right time. I don't want to
yeah,
get it too soon or too late, like whatever it is. So,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
And
you did incredible.
thanks, guy. And even like if you wanted the epidural at the beginning, no shame. I get it.
No,
Pain
it's just
control is pain control.
preference.
Your pain is your pain, man. I'm totally good with that.
Yeah.
Like I stand by
Yeah,
that. If you're in
I
pain and you want the
agree.
epidural right away, you go, girl. If for me, it was just like
Yeah.
I wanted to try my very best to get to a point where if I got the epidural, I could still push through. Unfortunately, though, for me, I kind of had a little bit of a pausing moment. Remember, I got the
Yeah.
epidural and then it kind of slowed things down,
Yeah.
which was okay.
Which it can do, I mean, at that
Yeah.
point, and then, they presented you with your options.
And then I chose what I wanted, and then there I
Yeah.
bobbed your uncle. But fast forward to like whatever. I want to talk about laboring down.
Ooh, laboring down. The
Now,
passive second stage, it's so good.
I didn't know
Yeah.
about that until you taught me
Yeah.
that, and it was the best thing ever.
Yeah, it was great.
Let's talk
Yeah.
about it. So,
Okay.
basically, you said to me,
Well, okay, you were 10 centimeters,
"Yeah,
and they were like, "Let's push." But I
I
said
just
to
wasn't the
you, like,
yeah,
"Do you feel like you wanna push?" Like, typically, you'll get regardless of how
the
good your
urge."
epidural, yeah, your epidural will take care of most of the belly pain. Some epidurals I've seen that are really good, you won't even feel the pressure at all. Those are some kind of unicorn
Disclaimer,
situations.
disclaimer, Tiana, let's talk about your background. Tiana was a RN in the labor and delivery unit for how many years?
About 6 to 7 years,
Yeah,
give or take.
so she knows a lot about this topic. That's why she's so intelligent on the topic. But anyway,
Well,
continue. So yes,
it's just experience, it's just
and
exposure.
experience. Yeah, yeah,
So where was I? So you were 10 centimeters,
yeah,
and I asked if you had the urge to push. You said no. I
yeah.
asked the nurse, like, "I- clinically, can we wait? Like, do we have to push now?" And
Right.
based on her assessment, she said, technically, no. So we were like, okay, so then let's just chill. So we chilled and we labored down. I think we used the peanut ball.
Loved.
We used the
Yes.
peanut ball. So we had you positioned. The peanut ball is a great tool. We can talk
Love the
about
peanut
that
ball.
at a whole
Yeah.
other, I could talk about it for hours. I love that thing.
Love the
So
peanut ball.
it's great. So it just positions your hips in a way that allows for, baby to come down. And when you labor down, you're not actively pushing. It's called like a labor down or a passive second stage where you just allow your body to bring the baby down naturally. So
Yes.
without any sort of like external force, like maternal effort. So
Right.
we labor down. I want to say it was for a good hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can labor down for a good amount of time. Like, I forget what the guidelines say now, but like, as long as baby, like, and we always went off of your healthcare team. So it was always like, is this an appropriate thing to do? Can we try this? And they always gave us the go ahead to say, yep, this is something you can try. So we had the peanut ball in, we labored down. Everybody was getting ready around us because they knew that you were 10
It was
centimeters in
coming. Yeah.
and your baby was on its way. So we just had, it almost felt like, the center of a tornado,
Yeah.
the calm in the middle. That's
Yeah.
how it felt to me. I don't know how it felt to you,
Yes.
but I just felt
Everybody
like everybody was swirling around us.
and all of a sudden I felt because I remember thinking like, am I supposed to do anything right now? Like it was the
Yeah.
most weirdest feeling ever because I started to panic because everybody was tornadoing around me and I'm like, oh my God, what's happening? And then all of a sudden I felt your hand and I was like, "Oh, we're at the beach." And I
Yeah.
remember being like, "Okay, we're at the beach and I can
Yep.
just allow this baby to do what it needs to do to get to a spot where I feel ready to push." And it was
Yep.
like, "Oh, Tiana's so calm right now that like I'm calm too." And it was almost like I could feel the intenseness ramping up. It was so interesting,
Yes.
but I was calm, but I could
Yep.
feel the intenseness coming that like
It was all around us.
yes,
Yeah.
and I just was like, "I'm ready for this. I'm ready to push when I'm ready to push," and it was like you were keeping me calm, 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 and then all of a sudden, you were like, "Are you ready?" And I was like, "I wanna push," and then we were like, "'Kay." Remember?
Let's do it. Yeah.
Like
And then
and
because
we're
you could feel it. You were like, oh, I
yeah,
feel something different. And I'm like, good.
yeah,
This is good. Like,
yeah,
we
that means
want you
that
to,
they're down there. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
It was the coolest thing, and then so
so
I
good.
love laboring down. Like, now that I
Yeah.
know what it is, it's like I would labor down forever. Freaking
If the
loved it.
situation
Yeah.
permits it, like, not
Yeah.
everybody can for different
Yes.
reasons, so it just really like, again, we asked the nurse, we said, "Is this an okay thing to do? This is what like, this is an option." Alicia,
Right.
you were expressing that you wanted to try it, we did it, like, yeah, if you
I loved
can,
it.
it's a great tool to help you buy some inches because really it's only
But
such a small amount of way to
for
go,
me
but yes.
For me, mentally though, allowing my body to just stay calm to labor, because I feel like laboring down is a sense of it calmed me down. Like it was like,
Yeah,
okay, I don't have to do anything right now. I don't have to
right.
push. I don't have to panic. I just need to be in that moment of like something's changing and that's okay. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And because I don't know if you felt like this with your two kids. This is from experience, I guess, but the act of change throughout my labor was very stressful. The
yeah.
feeling of change. Like, okay, I'm okay with the contractions. This is okay. This is normal until it's not anymore. And then you're like, what's
Something's
next?
different, something's
Something's
different.
different. And you're like, oh my God, is this okay? Is this a normal thing? Because my brain was thinking, oh my God, this is different. I don't like change. I don't do well with it. So I didn't like the aspect that everything was changing.
Yeah,
But for me, the laboring down almost prepared myself to think that's okay that change is happening. The baby needs to come out at some point, Alicia. You gotta push at some point, right? So
right,
the laboring down was almost like my body preparing to be like, you're gonna do it and you're gonna be okay doing it. And I was like, okay. Do you
right.
know? It was
Yeah, it's
like
almost like
preparing me.
a soft landing for a moment where you could, like, actually take a moment to be like, "It's not like it was, but
Yeah,
it's not the end yet," and you had that
right.
moment to just be in that moment, which
Yeah,
is
it was great. I loved it.
it's kind of rare, like, I've never quite seen such a calm laboring down before, like,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I've done, like, I've had the
Oh,
privilege. Oh, what?
guy. Let's
What?
talk about, remember when wow! Remember when we both felt the touch? Something was touching us?
Oh, yeah, we had, like, some, like, spiritual
Voodoo.
moments happening. Yeah, we both felt like at one point we had, um because you had just gotten your epidural, and
Yeah,
I was, like, very I don't know if I was, like, just very protective, but I was just, like, standing beside you, and I felt a weird thing on my back and turned, and then you turned at the same time, and I was like, "Did you just feel someone touch your back?" And I
and I
wasn't
said,
touching you, and you were like, "Yeah, what was that?" And I was like, "I just felt someone touch my back." Like, it was almost like someone put hands on us.
"Chills, chills." I have chills.
Yeah.
Yes, and
Yeah,
I was like,
we
"Who,"
had a moment.
and we both were like,
Here.
people probably like the people that don't believe, and it's okay if you don't. The people
Yeah.
that didn't believe us, they were probably like, "What is wrong with these
What?
girls? Like, they're witchy and voodoo." Meanwhile, we're both like, "Who is it? Who's here?" We were both
Oh
like,
my
"Who's
god.
here? Make your presence known. Like, we feel you. We love you. Whoever you are, thank you." But meanwhile, the people over there that probably were like, "What's wrong with these girls?"
What?
They were like,
I'm crying right now, that's so funny. I forgot
we
about
lit
that part.
yeah, we both
Yeah,
were like, "Who are
yeah,
you?" And they were like, "Who are these people?" But
yeah,
honestly, like, wow.
yeah.
That was
But
the
yeah,
it was a beautiful, as much as it was chaotic for other people around us, I think for the 2 of us, it was probably the most beautiful labor. Like, I
it
like,
was.
when I think back to it, I'm like, it was chaotic for everybody else, but for me, it wasn't. I loved it.
Yeah,
Like, I
yeah,
actually look back at the beginning, it was always like I hated it was stressful, but it wasn't. I think I needed you there to, like, calm me down, but also just to have that, like, moment. It was just beautiful. Like, I love
yeah.
my labor. It was
It was
great.
great. I mean, I thought it was great. I had a
I did
great
too.
time. I was
I did
very,
too.
very, like, emotional, and I still feel very, like,
Moved.
honored and
Yeah.
privileged to have been present for that. I
Oh,
was
yeah.
like I was there, like, it was
Yeah.
so just
It was
beyond.
amazing.
It
And,
was.
like, everybody as a team respected my decisions,
They
which,
did.
like, it was like, "Wow, thank you." Because as nurses, I feel like we see a lot. So it's like you have an expectation going in and you're a little bit nervous because you don't
Yeah.
know where you stand kind of. But I
Yep.
really felt like everybody was very understanding to what I wanted and like
Yeah.
respected the decisions that I made, which is like thank
Yeah.
you very much for
Yeah.
allowing me to labor down, allowing me to have a moment, like, and thank you, Theo, for allowing me to have those moments. But you know what I mean? Like, it was everything just worked out the way it
Yeah.
should have.
It all just fell into place, but you did have a really amazing care team. You probably went
Yeah.
through based on the fact that you were there for so long, you went through every
Yeah.
single person that worked there probably, but,
Yeah.
like, we
But everybody was on
another
the same
topic?
everybody was on the same page. I feel like that happens when you give rapport. But
Yes.
everybody was on the same page and they all were like very understanding of what I wanted, which was great. And I didn't have a care plan. I did not have a care plan. I
Yeah,
just
like,
knew what I
you didn't
wanted.
have a birth plan. You didn't have
Sorry, a
a
birth
birth
plan.
plan. Yeah,
I just knew what I wanted. Like I was
right.
like, this is what I think I want. And you also were a great advocate. But yeah, that was my labor.
It was so great.
In a short little, I like we talked about it for a bit, but like there was a lot more in between.
So much more in between, and I feel like each section could be a whole moment in its own, like, to talk about
Yes.
because there was just so much to unpack in each section, but as a, like,
Yeah.
overall good, like, summary of it, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. And it's crazy that I went from wanting, which circumstances happened. I was a high risk midwife to physician. Like there was a change in my like
yeah,
journey, which was fine. It was just, I always thought and wanted a midwife, but like having you there was, I would consider it similar. Do you know what I mean? I just
yeah.
knew that you could be midwives are awesome. I just knew that you could be my advocate too, which was very helpful.
That was
And
my mindset was that, like,
yeah,
how can I help you understand number one, like if you were confused or needed an explanation, how can I explain this so then that way you can make the best decision for yourself? Because
yeah,
that's what informed consent is. It's understanding all of the details so that you can make the best decision for yourself,
right,
you and
right,
David. And that
right.
was my entire purpose for being there
Yeah,
in my head. Like that was
yeah,
my intention. So
yeah. And
I'm
I
glad
think
it came
like,
across.
yeah, I did. And I feel like too for David, like if we would have had the opportunity to have the conversation, the three of us with David, I feel like he would also have been able to make those decisions with
And
me.
yes, yeah, in those
It was,
moments, like,
yeah,
he was very locked in as well, like, he was right there, and you could tell, like, he just wanted to understand to
yeah,
help you make the
the
decisions,
decisions.
so,
Yeah, which is
yeah,
great. Yeah.
yeah.
It was
Go,
on
David.
go David, go. Yeah. But on a mental health perspective, it's so true that between each phase of your labor, like they talk about it. They talk about
Yeah.
active labor and all those things. No one really talks about the mental health of the
Oh,
person.
yeah, it's a
But
moment.
it's a shift. Like I'm not kidding you. My
Yeah,
mind did a complete 360 when it was from like what's the stage 1 to 2?
like, active
Like,
labor, you mean?
yeah, active
Just
labor to
or, like, there's, like, early labor, and then there's
yeah,
active labor.
so from active labor to push.
Oh, transition. Like, you're
Tran
transitioning and, like yeah, yeah, yeah.
That
Yeah.
was a moment, like the mental health moment of me of thinking like, "Oh my god, something's gonna change again," but it was like, "No, it has to happen, you have to push, it has to come out somehow."
Right. It's just such a bizarre you're right, it's really bizarre because, yeah, your brain gets comfortable in the known. So then as
Yes,
soon as something changes, it's like, "Oh my gosh, what do I have to adjust to now?" Or "What's happening?" Or like,
yes,
what is going on?" Like and I feel like that's a really normal thing to experience,
it
but
is
it's
normal.
just
It's crazy
the,
though.
anxiety or, like, the, like,
The
stress you can
anticipation.
feel yeah, from that, it's a lot, and then, like,
Yeah,
you're meant to, like, as we talked about for your well, I don't know if we've said it today, but, like, the whole point is for the laboring person to remain out of fight or flight so that they can
yes,
allow their body to release. So if you're
yes,
constantly going in and out of fight or flight, or you're in a steady state of fight or flight, your body's going to just be struggling to be able to do what it has to
which,
do.
let's be real here, thank God throughout my entire labor, you kept saying out loud, "Alicia, there's no bear here, like, everything's okay, you don't have to think," like, because you need to
Release
calm
it.
down.
Like,
Yeah, like, there's
yeah,
not a bear that's coming after you and attacking you, you can get out of fight or flight. And the more you would say it, the more I would calm myself down, the more progression would happen. Yeah, which
Yeah,
a lot of people, yeah, don't realize about the whole bear thing. Like that'll stop your
yeah,
progression because you're
yeah.
just not able to
Well,
get to a place where,
the
yeah,
hormones aren't
yeah,
compatible, right? Like
yeah,
epinephrine, norepinephrine, they will dominate because that's what it's meant to do. Like,
you're right.
you know, for lack of a better comparison, animals that are laboring in the wild, they if they anticipate a danger or like there's something that there's a threat, their labor will stop. Their
Yeah,
epinephrine, norepinephrine will take over. They will run to safety, and then when they feel like when their body has completely calmed and the danger is no longer there, they will resume labor. Like that's what
yeah,
happens. So it's
crazy.
that's like we have to work with these things. Like they're built
Yeah.
in for a reason. So we have to, remember them and not
And like
allow it to take over.
I'm thinking the laboring down helped me with that transition. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it was like, okay, we're moving from not pushing to pushing, and I can remain calm and get myself to a zen mode before I push.
Right.
Which was like, there's no barrier. You can just calm down, pretend you're at a beach, and just let
Yeah.
the baby do what it needs to do to get you into that mode of pushing. And it was great.
Amazing.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved my labor,
Me
partially
too.
because I had you and David for support. But yeah, it was
Mhm.
good. It was a great
It was
labor.
great. It was really good. You're
Stressful
so
in the
funny.
sense, but good. I feel like we can continue this if people wanna hear it, like, let us know,
Yeah,
but, like,
dive in deeper to certain points and sections of it, like because there was
so
oh my
much.
gosh, there's so much to talk about, and, like, the context is really important too, I can't emphasize that enough, like, your situation is your situation, my
Yes.
situations were mine, these are
Yeah.
all unique to you, so but, like, helpful, I think, to talk about in your
Yeah.
context, so yeah, if people wanna hear more,
We
let
would
us
love to
know.
discuss. Yeah.